I know.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Let me make sure I'm sharing over here and unmute on Discord. All right, we're good to go. All right. Why can't I hear James Legends?
All right, you can hear me now, Amy?
Yes. Now I can. All right. Hi guys, welcome to the stream. Let's get some hype energy going now. I need it. I need a Red Bull of coffee and a double shot of espresso. And then I might be okay to trade this afternoon. Until then, we're going to fake it till we make it. Let's talk about Tesla and this massive ascending wedge it's in, James Legends.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're the Tesla queen, right? So we were playing the calls before and we saw that resistance at around like 727.
Yep.
Having a bit of trouble getting over that, kind of faked people out of calls, I think, before it had that next leg up.
Agreed. It didn't quite pull down to the initial entry on that call. We had an entry like $3. I think you were in at 320. It pulled back down to about 340. I think I put as like a third chance or second chance or whatever the heck you want to call it. I expected this a little bit from Tesla, that shakeout. They're going to get you out before they actually let it run. And that's just the reality of Tesla. Let me see what the option is at right now. I don't want to look on my phone, so I'll just look right here. So we're at 420. All right, so we're up. Even that second chance I put out just a little while ago, we're up about 25% on that bad boy too. As far as earnings go, I will give you my bull bear scenario and we'll go from there. My bull bear, and you could tell me what your bull bear scenario is. My bull bear scenario is if the market is somewhat green, we will flirt with 770 today. Yes, I know that's $50. Yes, I know that's 6 to 7%. I feel like we get, and I'm talking about today and tomorrow, not today. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Before earnings, we'll flirt with 770. That's my bull scenario. That's my best case scenario. However, our massive resistance from yesterday, if we pop on a little longer time frame here, like an hour, 4 hour, we can clearly see that this is a pretty heavy duty resistance we've got at that 750 to 752 area. If we could break up over that and hold over that, as you can see on these 4-hour wicks, we can't hold, but we do test. Then I believe we do come up to test that 770 area. If we don't break and hold 745 or above today, we're not touching it tomorrow. That is my bull scenario. My bear scenario is ending up at 680 before market close tomorrow. So I know that's a big variance there. But that's my bull bear scenario. Tesla's in this massive wedge, guys, on the 4-hour here. And we've been playing the crap out of Tesla. But this is definitely an interesting wedge. It's in here. It's not a perfect wedge, but it's definitely trading in this very tight consolidation here. Not even that tight. I mean, it's 640 to 750. So it's a good 13-14% here, but it's trading in this area and has been for quite a while now. I just think it's interesting. I mean, our size popped just above 50 here, 54 on the 4-hour. Let me check the 5-minute. I'll tell you what I think of the calls I alerted, and we'll go from there. And I'm good with these calls right here as long as we hold over that VWAP. And that's about all I have.
Very nice.
What do you think about any stock? It doesn't have to be Tesla. Anything. What are you thinking today in life?
Well, right now I just bought some Netflix puts for a day trade, not to hold through earnings, because I do think that Netflix ends up being bullish for earnings personally. But I am seeing like a little bit of downside here, maybe down to about 194-ish. So I'm just trying to basically play the puts down to that level, maybe a little bit lower than that, and then get out for profit, and then maybe add some calls at the end of the day as a lotto to hold through the earnings. Netflix generally does have pretty good big moves on earnings. Usually it's around 10%ish of what the stock is worth. So maybe we could see like a $20 move on Netflix. And then as far as Tesla goes, I am not 100% sure which way I would think that's going to go. I would lean more towards the upside for now, but it's earnings are a very manipulated thing, and that there's going to be a lot of money being bet on Tesla options tonight and tomorrow night. So it's a little risky, honestly, holding options through earnings, because with the implied volatility and the crush that happens after earnings, the Tesla options could really get wrecked. I'm not sure, honestly.
We've seen it both ways with Tesla. What I'm planning on doing for earnings. My daughters, can you take over for 1 minute? I'll be right back. Can you just?
Yep. Okay. So basically, I'm just watching Netflix right now. If you look on the 5-minute chart here, I'll share my screen. All right, so I'm sharing my screen on Webull. So if you see, the reason that I entered the puts here is because it was in this little bit of a bear flag. So basically what a bear flag is when it gets the pull up and then it goes into a slight little uptrend before falling out of it. It retested a couple times here. So I'm just like watching the 5-minute to make sure it's not going to reach a new high of day. At that point, I'll stop out, most likely for like a 5 to 10% loss at that point. Probably not even that bad, because these options are a little bit more expensive, right? So they're not going to drop that type of percentage so easily just from a 40-cent move. So you could say that they're actually a little bit more solid. The implied volatility on them is pretty high, right? At this point, it's 200%. I've seen the Netflix options go as high as 300, 400% implied volatility before the earnings are announced, and they get announced today after hours. So it's possible you get more of an IV, pop throughout the day. But I'm not going to hold these. If it breaks the high of day right now, I'm not holding them. Other than that,
Pounding on the door.
Welcome back.
She was locked out, no
key. On Twitter before here with this wedge. So basically it actually broke out of the wedge, but it broke out and popped so quickly that there was really no shot of getting into calls. Like if you wanted to wait for a retest, you never got it, right? So it kind of just busted out of the wedge and just went up from there. And now it's kind of flagging up here. What were you saying?
For me personally, for Tesla specifically, because that's what we were talking about, I plan on doing this for Tesla. I am bullish for Tesla overall. My plan is to, sorry, my light got knocked over while I'm talking. Chaos today, people. My plan is to do a spread and a super out of the money call. I'm talking like 50 cents, a buck, something, 900-ish, something like that. That's my plan. Just to have a little fun with it, because if Tesla does get big news in any way, shape, or form, we've seen what Tesla can do. And then you take your position and you stand by your position after earnings, meaning, play small ball if you want to play earnings. And then after earnings is when you see those strong moves and you say, okay, this is where Tesla can really substantially push to 850, this or that. You know what I mean? We're in a market where we no one, from Jim Cramer to Kathy freaking Woods to James M. Effin Legends to Jamma, knows for sure what's going to happen with the market, with inflation, with everything. The list of scenarios of what we have gone through as a nation, as a world over the last 3 years, and how they all stack on top of each other in a financial and stock sense and a humanitarian sense is unprecedented. Anyone that tells you they know without a doubt the market's going up or the market's going down is on bullshit and run the other way. Pardon my French. Don't do it. We will fundamentally give you what we like. We'll give you the setups we like. We'll watch the charts. We'll do all of the above, and that's it. Because, we're going to play small fall in the day, this and that. So, I don't know. That's my take on it.
Sounds good. So are you going to hold any options through Tesla earnings?
Yes, I'm gonna open a new spread tomorrow or tonight, power hour. I haven't decided which yet. And then I'm gonna get something really out of the money. Like I'm talking 900. Let me look. Let's look right now. All right, James, let's look at the Tesla options and what will I don't want to do a Friday. James, you are right about that. The IV crush from Wednesday to Thursday. Can't do it. You're better off going because I remember me and James doing this with Tesla earnings about a year ago, long time ago. We've got like $1,000, something ridiculously out of the money, and made like 400 or 500% on it. You, me, and the Philly. You remember that?
Yep.
It was like ridiculous. It was ridiculous, and it was so far out of the money. Like it was just kind of have fun. So I'm literally doing something like a 929 or even further out, an 86 where we're going between 8.5 and 8.5 or a 929, a 729 or you guys know what I mean, August 5th or July 29th, and something like in the $900 to $1,000 range. I'm talking $1, $2, something for fun. You know what I mean? Because these are the ones, if we get a good move from Tesla, these are the ones that get that good get that good move with it. Better than closer to the money. It's like it's the same thing as playing spreads versus weeklies or playing weeklies versus 6 weeks out. Closer to the money, you have less risk of getting blown up. And then the further you go out of the money, if you get that strong move, you get better results from it. But you're risking losing the whole thing if it doesn't move exactly how we need it to. So what would you say? How far out would you go in the as far as a date?
Yeah, so I would probably, if you're going to do a spread, I would probably go out to actually, you could go out as far as 8/19. I think would be a smart date, actually.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like do the monthly.
Yep. And if we did the 8/19, go close like what would we say, like a $15 spread probably?
Yeah.
We got 2.5.
Like yeah.
There's 2.5 on the 19th.
And I think that going with a spread for earnings on Tesla is actually a little bit smarter too. Just because like even if they do get crushed, the spread between the options could still work out in your favor.
Exactly. And we could do what's nice about the 19th is they've got $2.5 increments. So we don't have to necessarily do a 15. We could do a $12.5 spread, a 10. You know what I mean? We've got a little more flexibility in that. We might not need 1,500 collateral. You know what I mean? Because I will probably do a debit, not a credit. I like to do debit spreads personally. And then another thing, and so if we were going just out of the money with a fun call just for the hell of it, you had a good week, spend 3% of your profits on one, you feel like the 29th or the 5th, you're better off.
You mean the 19th?
No, 29. No, the 29th of July or the 5th. If we're going to get not a spread, just a call, a naked call, just for fun. Because I was talking about I want to do a spread, and then I want to get a call pretty far out of the money, as like the riskier alternative, like a something between $900 and $1,000, like going at the 950 for $130 for August 5th, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna do it, I would do it today and not wait until tomorrow when the implied volatility is at 100-something%.
I agree 100% with you because
but I would go with I guess I would go with the 29th. I mean, it's a lotto either way. I mean, the August 5th has lower IV if you care about that.
So only a couple percent though, really.
It's
not
bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3-4% difference. So I would say like the 900 for the 29th. We'll watch what happens in the power hour today. And this is purely a lotto play. This is nothing where, you should be risking money that you cannot afford to lose. It's like buying a scratcher, guys. Seriously. Another stock I would love to talk about is Vail. Do you still like Vail where it's at? We have earnings next week. What do you think of Vail, JL?
That's not Vail. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I still like Vail from down here. I think the 1225 was a good area, like to pick it up. 2 days ago or yesterday was today. It's a little bit down from the top of yesterday still, but I think it's getting ready to come up. You said the earnings are on what day?
They're next week. I think I can't remember the exact date. I think next Wednesday. I felt like if you look, I'm sharing my screen. I think I'm sharing on the Discord too. Even if we just get a pop up to this top trend line, this is quite the move. That's what I'm looking for, is at least a test of this trend line. So that's what we're playing. And yeah, I like this. I like the setup there for sure. I guess I would ask you, James, what are you bullish through the rest of the week? We've had such a push over the last few
Well,
days.
the spy it's if it can actually break and close, if it can close a day over $390, then yeah, I would be bullish for the rest of the week. Like, yeah, sure, we'll see a couple pullbacks and whatnot, but ultimately, yeah, I would be more bullish for the rest of the week. But the thing is that this point up here that it's gotten to, every single time in the past month that it's gotten up to this point, it's getting smacked right back down. So if it's going to follow, what it usually does, what it's been doing, and it's going to continue that cycle, then it's going to come down from here. But I would like to see it. I would like to see this break over 390 and hold for the entire day, like just like stay at 390, and then that would make me a little bit more bullish for the rest of the week.
I agree with that. I think 390 is a huge support and resistance point. I agree with that very much so. That's what I'm watching as well. Okay, I am checking a couple more plays here and giving a couple updates. We do have our Disney play. I had put out this yesterday, and this was a sympathy play on Netflix, guys, to be honest. I felt like yesterday was a little too late for me to want to play that run up into earnings on Netflix. I was wrong. We popped like 4% today, but Disney tends to run a little bit with Netflix and vice versa. So I got the Disney call because I felt like it was a pretty good setup anyway. We have the $101 call for 819, and it's hanging out at like 360, and we bought it at 284. So we're already up a nice 25% ish on this. It hit as high as 290. I'm sorry. Wrong one. Yeah, at 335. It hit as high as 335. So it's in a nice area now. I will take it. It's actually at its high of the day right now. It's actually at 360 right now, not 335. It just hasn't updated. Sorry guys, I'm not checking my actual or holdings on my phone. I'm looking on the computer here. So Disney's kind of blasting. What do you think about Disney at this level, James? I know I keep asking you a lot of questions, but you've been more bearish than me over the last little while. So I'd like to hear your opinion on it too, because I know you're much more skeptical of the sustainability of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Disney, it's like you said, it's going to have it's going to have some kind of sympathy move off of whatever Netflix does today. So, if we see Netflix go up, then you could probably see Disney at 100 plus tomorrow. But, besides that, I would actually be a little bit more bearish on Disney, like at a certain point, because I don't think that it's just going to reverse and come back up so easily. I think that it has like a little bit more struggle going down the line here, and it did break out of its downtrend that it was in for a while, and it does look like it's ready to reverse, but I think you get resistance around like 104-ish, and then at that point it'll come back down to the 90s again.
Yep. I would I would buy that. Definitely I buy that. Tesla's pushing, boys and girls. This is why I like to leave that free runner. I know I play with a little bit bigger of an account than some people might, and with Tesla, you might only be able to afford one or two contracts, one contract, and I totally understand that. But Tesla could get quite the little push this afternoon. You guys know I'm bullish on Tesla. I did not alert puts at all today. I'm just that's just simply where I am with Tesla right now and where it's at. What else? I'm gonna pull Jackal into our stream because he's trying to take over our stream with his stream.
Hmm.
Jackal, we are streaming live right now we're doing You've Got Options with Jamma and Legends. You're trying to take our stream over. What the heck, Jackal?
Where am I? Where are you guys?
You're in free live stream.
Events and updates, my man.
I just saw
walking through how to do OCOs on Weevil.
You can go back. I just wanted to mess with you that you were streaming at the same time. I will put you back there. I got you. I just had to mess with you. I thought it was funny. Bye.
That's funny.
I was like, he's trying to take over our stream. What the heck?
You just stunned the poor kid.
Yeah, I like to mess with Jackal, guys. So what else do you have your eyes on, James, MF, and Legends?
Well, I'm watching Bank of America right now. It kind of broke bearish out of this wedge, and it's coming up for the retest right now. So I'm watching that. Maybe for some puts. I don't know. At this point, I would be looking at puts unless SPY can break up, because this is exactly where it gets hit down every single time. So I'm hesitant to enter, Bank of America puts, even though it did break out of that wedge like that, just because if the SPY does start ripping up from here, it's not going to come down. That's just how it is. But this is like the area where there's probably a lot of people buying puts. So they're either going to be wrong or not at this point. I mean, this is the top that we've been seeing for the past month straight.
I agree with that, and you're absolutely correct with that. And here's a couple thoughts I have on it. Like you said, I agree that 390 is a huge area of confluence with the SPY of late. So I'm definitely watching that. And I'm on the fence. I mean, we are so we've ran pretty hot, but the next 2 weeks, here's the thing, guys. Over the next 2 weeks, we have a lot of earnings. Those will dictate the market sentiment over the next 2 weeks. It's earnings season. That's just my thoughts on it. I just saw your post, Big Gains Hunter, saying wake up. That's nice. So I think the earnings are kind of what I'm watching, to be honest. How about Riot and Mara? Sheesh. I'm looking at your profits here, Mr. SLP. That's just unbelievable. They popped another like 15% today. What a move on crypto in general. So quite the move. Trying to see.
Do you think that Mara and Riot will ever make it back? So, okay, actually, here's a better question. Do you think that if Bitcoin made it back to its all-time high, that Mara and Riot would also make it back to their all-time highs at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mara and Riot did not run synonymous with the stock market having bull runs. They did, but they didn't. The stock, if you look at Bitcoin in November, that's when we hit the all-time high, that 70K, and that's exactly where Riot was. Mara was up to $83. Guys, we have ran 120% in about a week, and we have another 800% we can go here. This stuff's literally down 90%, 95% from the highs. So yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that Mr. SLP, he did cut a little bit. He says he's holding because like he truly believes he's gonna hold it for 6 months to a year just because the potential there, which is there. That potential is 100% there. I had Coinbase spreads out. I wish I would have just got freaking calls. I'll tell you what. Knowing the calls went up like 500% and the spreads like 30%. It's okay though. It's okay. It was low risk. So yeah. So is there anything you're looking at for maybe spreads, calls, puts, anything today?
Just Netflix, just Netflix really. I'm holding on to Verizon calls right now, looking for a little bit more of a run before the earnings on Friday. We had the AT&T calls did good. We got American Airline on Thursday in the pre-market, Snapchat in the after hours. And then another one that I like to play sometimes is STX, Seagate Technology. I don't have an answer for which way I think that's going right now, but that's one that I'm going to be looking at for sure.
Good to know. I'm watching TXN earnings coming up soon here. Nice 2.5% push. We had some calls overnight on that. For sure, watching Disney. Disney's just kind of blasting right now. Love it, love it, love to see it. So those two, obviously Tesla, the steel, U.S. Steel and Cleveland Cliffs. They're outperforming the market. They're running with the market a little bit now. But another one, we have a major bill going through Congress for semiconductors, microchips, AMD, NVIDIA, those type of stocks. So TXN, Texas Instruments, that's part of the reason that's running too. I mean, these realistically, AMD at $84 after it has been running all day. You want to talk about some potential. That's actually a good company with a good P&L and good this and good that. Like AMD at $84 is steal. I still believe that. Yes, I believe we could have a little bit of pullback, but at the same time, I don't want people sleeping and not taking our short swing plays because you don't trust after having 3 days green, because that's where a lot of people will get into that sentiment. And I talked about a little bit on Twitter Spaces this morning, that sentiment of, dang, I missed my shot. And like, while I agree, I don't agree. We're still on extremely low levels on a lot of these stocks, a lot of these tickers. We're sprinkling in the swings. We got Boeing out at 120, and Lee crushed it with Riot, and James Legends crushed it with the Macy's spread and the Amazon spread 2 days ago. That's another one. Getting in these positions where yes, we ran a little bit, but yes, there's a whole lot more we can run. So what is that?
I'm going to take care of that. There we go. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. So what do you think about a strangle for Netflix, JL?
I don't think it's worth it because the options are way too expensive for it to pay off.
Okay.
Like you could see like these options right now, even for July 22nd, which is literally 3 days from today, which means tomorrow it only has 2 days left of value. Like if you want to buy these calls and puts, let's say I got the 205 call for, let's just say 11 right now, because that's pretty much what it is. So we get that at 11, and then we get the 190 put for also about the same price. So I'm putting in $2,200 if I buy one of each of those, and then it needs to run like well over or under one of those strike prices, like in enough to because one of those is going to be down 80-90% tomorrow. Like that's just how it's most likely going to turn up. So you need one of them to actually run more than 100% in order to make money on to outweigh the loss on one of them. So it's just I would rather just pick a direction, because then it's just going to feel bad because it's like, oh, I have this one, but I just lost 90% on this one, but I'm up 100% on this one. Oh boy, I made 10%.
Yep. I mean, for a less, I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
Risky. You said a straddle, right?
Yeah, straddle.
Yeah. I thought you said a spread for a minute. No, but yeah, straddle isn't really less risky. I mean, you're just throwing more money in. I mean, in reality, both options could end up going down, and then it's like now you're double screwed.
Yeah, that's true. All right, good to know. I'm bullish on Netflix.
Yeah, I would be more bullish on it from this point too. I mean, I think that this could be the earnings where it makes it back up to that 210, 215 range, something like that. The question is, will it have the move in the extended hours tonight, or is it going to wait until tomorrow morning to start doing anything at all?
I'll tell you what, after 3 months of a lot of the tech we expected to have big moves being relatively flat, I think this is the one where it's a pop. Like, I mean, I'm talking 17-18% move.
Ooh,
I truly believe that.
Wanted to say that the SPY is ripping.
And Tesla is okay. It's holding up. I believe we get an 18 to 20% move on Netflix today.
Wow, what a move on Twitter too with that. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think 18%. What's the market maker move, James Legends?
You're talking about on Netflix, right?
Yes, sir.
I can get that for you in a second.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
I'm gonna take a guess. I mean, it's probably like
Hold on, let me guess too before you tell me.
it's probably
What's
like
your guess?
My guess is 18.
18. My guess is $24.
And I only, I usually for Netflix, I would think it's like going to be 30 or 40, but just the way that the market is right now, it's probably lower. So let's see. Netflix, MMM. Oh, wow. Okay. 29.
Get the calls, baby. So if it has a $29 move or more, is the strangle worth it?
If it really goes $30 and opens like that, like I'm talking like, not that it goes up $30 and then opens up $10 tomorrow morning. But if it really did that, then yeah, because if you get the $200, like, okay, like just an example of one, you get the $200 one call at 13, and then it goes to 230 from here. So that call is now worth probably 30 to 33 tomorrow at that point.
Yeah.
And then with the puts, if you got, something similar like the 195 and it came down all the way to 168, which would be a heavy drop. But if it did do that, then that 195 would be at 30 also. So it would end up paying. I just don't know if it's going to open like that, because we know that, market makers like to screw over option holders, especially for earnings. So it could stay like kind of relatively flat too before it opens. If it's only up $7 when it opens, all those options are going to get completely destroyed because the implied volatility is so high.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I'm going to call. I'm just going to do a call on it. That's literally
because again, like if you wanted to make the cost lower, getting a straddle on ones that are like super far out of the money, you might as well just take your money, throw it into a fire, and burn it.
facts. Especially if you go too far out. I agree with that 100%. All right, so we got 200% implied volatility, insanity.
Yeah, those are insane. Those are absolutely insane, those calls right now.
So a $40 move, $30 moves is 230s. So
yeah, so that would be your option right there, the 230, and just like see if that works out. I mean, it's very high. It's very high IV, obviously. So, but if it really runs to $230, that option should go to like 10. Even with the IV crush, I would think something like 10. Because there's going to be definitely still some IV left over. People are going to be bidding on them in the morning. If you went a little further out, maybe you want to do like the 230 for July 29th. It's a little bit more expensive than the usual lottos that we do. But, I wouldn't really want to go so far out of the money. I wouldn't want to do like, the 250. I feel like it's just not enough.
interesting. Good to know. Nike's up 5% today. How about that, Jackal? Crushed it on that swing. Very nice. SPY still pushing. Oh, I got a little bit of a headache today, guys. Excuse me if I don't sound my normal hype self.
T. Smith said, I had a question. Is there a common play for straddle strangle other than earnings? Was reading up on them and could only find that as a real reason. So earnings is like one of the main reasons you would want to play a straddle, obviously, right? Because you have the high volatility. You basically you don't know, but you can assume that you're going to get a large move on the stock, right? So that's why a straddle for earnings makes sense in some situations. Other situations where it may or may not make sense. Let's say you have one of those wedges that's like indecisive, where you don't know if it's going to break up or down. Like for example, with with Twitter before, it had one of these wedges. It's making lower highs and also higher lows at the same time. So this is one of those indecisive wedges. You don't know which way it's going to break. So you say, okay, let me buy a call and a put at the same time. And then whichever way it breaks, the whole thing is that you got to cut the loser. You have to cut the loser before it runs too much. Otherwise, you're just going to break even or lose money. So, once you see that break in the whichever direction it's going to go, you cut the losing side and you let the winning side run. So it does make sense to do it that way, but you don't want to hold the losing side for too long. You need to cut that side. The whole reason to get a straddle is because you don't know which way it's going to go, but you know it's about to have a strong move in some direction, but you're not sure which direction that is. But you have to cut the losing side fast. Like you have to be quick to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to burn your profit away. Make sense?
It does make sense. Thank you.
You wanna kill it on StreamYard?
Yeah, we'll kill it in StreamYard and we can hang out another one. Thanks, guys. Hold on one second.